1,500 days. That's how long it's been since I had my last drink of alcohol. And in that time, I've built the body I always wanted, business from scratch, travelled the world, and become the most disciplined version of myself. It wasn't always like that. I grew up in rugby culture in West Yorkshire where drinking wasn't a choice, it was an identity. And it nearly ruined my life. Look, I was an introverted kid at school, covered in acne, anxious all the time. Rugby became my escape. But the problem was they seen Yorkshire rugby and alcohol are tied together. At 16, at my first game for the open age team, I was made to down a pint of wine as fast as possible. And that was the start of the madness. It turned out I was good at rugby, but I was just as good at drinking. By my early 20s, weekend were predictable, smash myself on the field, smash myself in the pub. It was a joke, 15, 20 pints easily, that's without the shots. I didn't think I had a problem, but here's the truth. I couldn't just have one. I'd either have none or 20. I love being a part of the culture, but I was stuck in a loop, drinking hard, recovering by Wednesday, planning the next Saturday. My breaking point was actually in COVID. I became severely ill, lost 20 kilograms of muscle, and I hit rock bottom. At the same time, I was climbing the ladder in architecture. I graduated, I became a chartered architect in record time, and I was offered an associated position. But I looked at the men ahead of me, stressed, overweight, no freedom, dreading Monday mornings, and that was my future if I carried on. The final straw for me was actually Leeds Festival. I can't remember a thing after 1 p.m. I embarrassed myself, and the next day I made the decision. Enough was enough. I didn't say I'm going to have a month off or a year off. I just stopped. I burned the identity of being a man who drinks. The first 30 days looked really good, actually. My sleep improved dramatically. My skin finally cleared up. No more acne. The anxiety calmed down. And the best thing was I suddenly had an abundance of time. Then when I look at months 2 to 3, I didn't even think about alcohol anymore. Weekends became opportunities to build myself and build my business as well, which means I could escape my architecture hell. I started saving thousands that I used to blow on rounds, taxis, hangovers, pies, pizza, whatever it might be at the end of the day or at the end of the night. And instead of burning money on alcohol, I invested it into health, into coaching, and into building a future. The next few months were great. You know, I invested that money into my health. I hired a high performance coach. And all this led to me really just having some of the best years of my life. From a physique standpoint, I put on the muscle that I lost. And for the first time ever, my mycotoxin illness that had plagued me my whole life had cleared. Years 1 and 2, everything just feels like a dream. I started scaling my coaching business from nothing to multi-6 figures. Here's the kicker, right? There were no VC, no rich uncle, no bank of dad, just my own cash, my own discipline, and relentless focus. That's the main thing. I allowed myself to focus. I left my architecture job behind and I was waking up, planning out my content, building my business, getting clients, learning fulfillment, learning sales, learning marketing, because I had all this extra time. Instead of being out on the drink, I was able to put the time learning skills of business, learning how to be a great coach, learning how to do all this stuff, and it came from one decision: stopping drinking. And the craziest thing about alcohol, the benefits don't just add up, they compound. 1 month without alcohol feels great. 6 months in, you're a new person. 1,500 days later, you don't even recognize the old version of yourself. Sleep stacks with better training stacks with more confidence stacks with business and relationships, and it all just snowballs. It's exponential. And here's something that I didn't quite expect. Quitting alcohol made me sharper. I started reading more, writing more, speaking more, and that created a feedback loop. The more I read, the better I spoke. The better I spoke, the better I wrote. It's quite ironic that I just stuttered there, but the better I wrote, the more confidence I built. That's why today I can present myself clearly on camera, on stage, or to clients. Removing alcohol didn't just improve my health, it improved my mind and obviously my life. Even things like my speech, right? How I'm presenting myself today. Having that feedback loop means that I can present myself in a better way. I were able to use this money, bear in mind, to travel way more too. So in the past year, I've traveled all the way around the world. Brazil, Bali, Dubai, Toronto, Europe. because I'm not strapped for cash, because I'm not spending all my money drinking alcohol and partying. That money from the alcohol has just gone into stuff that actually fulfills me and stuff that I enjoy doing. And here's the truth as well, right? Alcohol has zero health benefits, like none. Even one drink a day increases your risk of disease. Andrew Huberman's talked about this, right? The WHO have confirmed there's not a single positive outcome that drinking does. Not your brain, not your body, or your hormones. The only benefit is social, right? And even that disappears when you find a better tribe. So why do we cling to it? It's identity. For years, I identified as the party boy, and quitting alcohol forced me to burn that identity and step into the man that I wanted to become: disciplined, fit, driven, focused. And the benefits just compound over time, right? You've got better health, which means better business, which means better relationships, which means a better identity. You can finally feel fulfilled, finally feel that you've escaped the matrix and you're building a life that is on your terms. 1 month without alcohol feels good. A year is life-changing. And here's something that no one tells you. When you stop drinking, your friendships will change. Believe me. People will say to you, you've changed, you're different. And you know what? They are right. At first it stings. And some mates will try to pull you back into that old cycle because your growth shines a light on their average tendencies. Face the fear of what's going to happen with the people around you. What are they going to say? But here's the truth, right? The friends you have today, they don't need to be the friends that you have forever. You're going to find a new tribe, a new band of people, of brothers that are going to like you for you. Over these past 1500 days, my tribe has completely changed. Instead of wasting nights in pubs, I spend weekends with people who hike, run, train, build. People across the globe, right? Who share the same values as me. And that's the beauty of quitting alcohol. It's not just a physical change, it's an identity shift. Party boy to being the man who values health, longevity, discipline and growth. Once you make that shift, you'll attract the right people into your life. But here's the key. It's not enough just to stop drinking. You need something bigger to run towards. Most people think, well, what am I going to do if I can't go to the pub and watch Man United versus Chelsea? You know, what am I going to do with myself? And that's because they don't have a goal to work towards. So my advice here is to have that big overarching goal, that big, hairy, audacious goal that you can work towards. So when you remove alcohol from your life, that's what you're moving towards. You'll get those texts which come from your high school friends saying, hey bro, do you want to go for some beers? And you can just say, no, I'm working on this, sorry, I'm unavailable. I need to take a bit of a break from alcohol at the moment and I'm working on this. It might not be forever, but it's just for now. And you're able to take that break so you can focus on bigger goals. Goals give you the direction and they replace the void that alcohol leaves behind. So, you know, if you're stuck in a rut financially, physically, mentally, quitting alcohol could very well be your first step forward. It's not a silver bullet. You'll still need to do the work, but removing alcohol breaks the pattern that's holding you back. I'm 1500 days in. I've never been more excited for the next 1500. I hope this video adds a lot of value to your life. If it resonated with you, here's what I'd like you to do. Just drop a comment below, please, with your thoughts. I will read them all. And if you've got any questions about it, drop them below too. I'm more than happy to help. And hit subscribe for no BS lessons on fitness, discipline, and building a life that you're proud of. And if you want my exact system for rebuilding your body and identity, click the link in the description to get my free Built to Thrive blueprint. And thanks for watching, guys. Here's to the next 1500.